Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving deep into the fascinating world of love. Through the lens of psychology, we're gonna unpack 8 mind-blowing psychology facts about love that are gonna make you see those butterflies in your stomach a little differently. We're talking about the nitty-gritty, the stuff that makes love tick, from a psychological perspective. We'll explore the chemicals in your brain that get all fired up when you're falling head over heels, the science behind love at first sight, and how your love life impacts your overall well-being. So, if you're ready to unlock the secrets of love and maybe even understand your own heart a little better, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any of the juicy insights we're about to share. You know that feeling when you start falling for someone? Your heart races, you can't stop thinking about them, you'd move mountains to be with them? Well folks, that ain't just Cupid working his magic. It's a cocktail of powerful chemicals flooding your brain. We're talking about dopamine, the feel-good hormone that gives you those intense rushes of pleasure and reward. When you're smitten, your dopamine levels go through the roof, making you crave more and more of your newfound flame. Then there's norepinephrine, the adrenaline junkie of the love potion. It's responsible for those sweaty palms, the racing heart, and that nervous energy you get around your crush. It's like your body's own personal alarm system, but instead of danger, it's screaming, hey, this could be the one. And let's not forget about serotonin, the mood regulator. When you're falling in love, your serotonin levels take a dip, which might sound counterintuitive, but it actually explains why you become so fixated on your beloved. You're literally a little bit obsessed. So the next time you feel that love-struck feeling, remember, it's not just in your head. It's a full-blown chemical romance happening in your brain. We've all heard the stories, seen it in the movies. 2 souls locking eyes across a crowded room and bam, it's love at first sight. But is this whirlwind romance a real thing, or just a bunch of Hollywood hogwash? Well, the truth is, it's a bit of both. You see, our brains are hardwired to make snap judgments about people we meet, based on things like physical appearance, body language, and even scent. These initial impressions happen lightning fast, often within milliseconds, and they play a crucial role in determining whether or not we're attracted to someone. Now, while this initial spark of attraction might feel like love at first sight, it's actually more about lust and primal instincts than true, deep-seated love. True love, the kind that lasts, takes time to develop. It requires getting to know someone on a deeper level, understanding their values, their dreams, their flaws and all. So, can you feel an intense connection with someone the moment you meet them? Absolutely. But is that love at first sight? Not quite, it's more like attraction at first sight, and it's just the first chapter in a much longer, more complex story. Let's talk about oxytocin, folks, also known as the cuddle hormone or the love hormone. This little chemical is like the glue that holds relationships together, and it plays a powerful role in building trust, intimacy, and bonding. You see, oxytocin gets released when we engage in physical touch, like hugging, kissing, or even just holding hands. It's also released during sex, which explains why intimacy is such a powerful bonding experience. But oxytocin isn't just about physical touch. It's also released when we feel emotionally close to someone, like when we're sharing our deepest thoughts and feelings or simply enjoying each other's company. Studies have shown that couples with higher levels of oxytocin tend to have stronger, more satisfying relationships. They argue less, they're more forgiving, and they're better at resolving conflict. So, if you want to strengthen your bond with your partner, crank up the oxytocin. Make time for cuddles, give each other massages, and don't underestimate the power of a good old-fashioned hug. You know what they say, love is a many-splendored thing, and when it comes to our health, it turns out that love can be a real game changer, both for better and for worse. Let's start with the good news. Studies have shown that people in loving, supportive relationships tend to have lower blood pressure, stronger immune systems, and even recover faster from illness. It's like having a built-in health insurance policy. Love can also reduce stress, promote feelings of happiness and well-being, and even help us live longer, healthier lives. So if you're looking for a fountain of youth, skip the expensive creams and go find yourself a good partner. But hold on folks, because love isn't always a walk in the park. When relationships go south, it can have some serious consequences for our health. Heartbreak, for example, can trigger a flood of stress hormones that can weaken the immune system, increase the risk of heart problems, and even lead to depression. So while love can be a powerful elixir for our health, it's important to remember that it's not a cure-all. Building healthy, supportive relationships takes work, but the payoff is well worth the effort. Falling in love is a wild ride, full of twists, turns, and unexpected detours. There are distinct stages we go through when falling head over heels. It starts with stage 1, lust. This is driven by primal hormones, testosterone and estrogen. You're physically attracted and can't stop thinking about them. Next is stage 2, attraction. You get to know the person beyond their looks. You're interested in their personality and dreams. You spend all your time together, talking for hours. Then comes stage 3, attachment. This is where things get serious. You share your deepest fears and build a deep connection. Finally, stage 4, love. This love is built on trust, respect, and understanding. You're committed and support each other through thick and thin. So there you have it, the 4 stages of falling in love. It's a journey, not a destination, with unique challenges and rewards. Ever wonder why some people jump from one relationship to the next while others are perfectly content being single? Or why some folks get clingy in relationships while others value their independence above all else? Well folks, it all boils down to your attachment style. The way you learn to relate to others in early childhood. You see, our early experiences with our caregivers shape the way we view ourselves, others, and the world around us, including how we approach romantic relationships. There are 4 main attachment styles: secure, anxious, avoidant, and fearful avoidant. Securely attached individuals are comfortable with intimacy and independence. They're warm, loving, and supportive partners, and they're not afraid to communicate their needs or set boundaries. Anxiously attached individuals crave closeness and reassurance. They're often worried about their partner's feelings for them, and they may become clingy or possessive in relationships. Avoidantly attached individuals value independence and self-reliance. They're uncomfortable with intimacy and may avoid emotional closeness. Fearful avoidantly attached individuals have a mix of anxious and avoidant tendencies. They desire closeness but are afraid of getting hurt, so they may sabotage relationships or push partners away. Understanding your own attachment style and that of your partner can be incredibly helpful in navigating the ups and downs of relationships. It's not about changing who you are, but rather about developing self-awareness and learning to communicate your needs effectively. We all like to think of ourselves as rational, logical beings, but when it comes to love, folks, all bets are off. Love has this sneaky way of hijacking our brains, clouding our judgment, and leading us to make some pretty questionable decisions. Ignoring red flags, staying in toxic relationships, or making impulsive choices. We've all been there. So, what's going on here? Why does love make us act like we've lost our minds? When we're in love, our brains get flooded with dopamine, making us crave our partner like a drug. This dopamine rush can cloud our judgment, making it hard to weigh pros and cons. Love also makes us more willing to take risks. We're caught up in the excitement, less likely to consider consequences. And let's not forget the power of rose-colored glasses. We idealize our partners, overlooking flaws and focusing on positives. Love can be a powerful motivator for growth and change, but it's important to be aware of how love influences our decisions. Heartbreak. It's the worst feeling in the world, like someone ripped your heart out and stomped on it. And it's not just an emotional experience. Heartbreak can manifest physically too, with symptoms like fatigue, loss of appetite, and even chest pain. So, what's going on in our brains when we experience heartbreak? Well, for starters, our brains interpret social rejection as a physical threat. Remember those survival instincts we talked about earlier? Yeah, they kick in full force when we get dumped, triggering our fight or flight response. This explains why we might feel anxious, panicky, or even physically ill after a breakup. Our bodies are basically in survival mode, trying to protect us from further harm. On top of that, heartbreak also messes with our hormones. Remember dopamine, the feel-good hormone? Yeah, it takes a nosedive after a breakup, leaving us feeling down, depressed, and unmotivated. And to make matters worse, our brains also release stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline, which can lead to anxiety, insomnia, and even physical pain. So what's the best way to cope with heartbreak? Well, there's no easy answer. But it's important to allow yourself time to grieve the loss of the relationship. Don't try to bottle up your emotions or pretend you're not hurting. Well, folks, there you have it. 8 mind-blowing psychology facts about love that might just change the way you view relationships. Remember, love is a complex and fascinating emotion that has been puzzling philosophers and scientists for centuries. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the psychology of love, give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more thought-provoking content. And don't forget to share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. Have you ever experienced any of these psychological phenomena in your own love life? Let's get real, folks, and keep the conversation going.